Hello, my name is Laura Good, and I'm the Assistant Director for Nationally Competitive Awards here at Iowa State University. This presentation is about the Goldwater Scholarship and is meant to help give you a bit more background about the scholarship as well as some tips about applying and the process. The presentation should take around 10 minutes. The Goldwater Scholarship is run by the Barry Goldwater Foundation and began in 1986 and is meant to provide the U.S. with a continued source of highly qualified scientists, mathematicians, and engineers, thus is open to students in STEM fields who are aiming to study a Ph.D., so that's an important element when applying to the scholarship, that you're aiming for a Ph.D. eventually, and that you're heavily involved in the area of research. So at this point in the presentation, if you're not interested in a Ph.D. and you are not involved in research, this may not be the award for you. The Goldwater Scholarship is available for sophomores and juniors as defined by graduation date. Sophomores will be considered students who have 2 years of study remaining beginning in fall 2019, and juniors as defined by students who have 1 year of study remaining beginning fall 2019. Competitive candidates should have a 3.8 plus cumulative GPA as well as be studying a STEM field and should be a U.S. citizen or permanent resident. Research experience is key, so students should be involved in undergraduate research as well as should be targeting a Ph.D. degree at some point in their academic journey. The foundation awards approximately 250 scholarships per year based on merit. Candidates must demonstrate outstanding potential and intend to pursue a research career as well as a Ph.D. in a STEM field. Medical school, students applying to medical school will not be considered. However, MD, Ph.D. candidates would be considered as long as the emphasis is on research and a career in research and not as a practicing physician. Awards are up to $7,500 per year, and applicants must be endorsed by their university. Iowa State is able to endorse up to 4 candidates per year, and we'll go into that process of selection later on in this presentation. A little bit about the numbers. So when applying for a Goldwater Scholarship, as I mentioned, Iowa State can nominate up to 4 candidates. Typically, we have anywhere from 18 to 25 campus candidates and can select 4. Sophomores are encouraged to apply and to reapply as juniors if not selected, as many of our successful candidates are juniors who have applied as a sophomore and have continued to work and develop their application for the following round. Nationally, there are approximately 1,286 applicants. These are the numbers from the 2017 competition. 307 were selected as honorable mention and 240 were selected as Goldwater Scholars, and you have the statistics around that here. Here's a bit more information about who's applying for Goldwater Scholarships. Again, anyone studying in a STEM field is eligible to apply. Juniors tend to be more likely to win, and that's simply because of more time and exposure to research. It's highly recommended that sophomores do apply, and then if not selected, continue to develop their application for the following year. An average GPA amongst winners at the national level is a 3.95, with an emphasis on the grades in your major and STEM-related fields being extremely important, as well as students who are involved in challenging curriculum. So, the Goldwater and other similar national level awards are extremely competitive. However, Iowa State has some excellent candidates, and students who are heavily involved in leadership and research and have outstanding grades should definitely consider applying for these things. You'll never know unless you give it a try. Additionally, if you're planning on moving forward into graduate school, this process is an excellent exercise for you in developing your personal goals and statements, building relationships with faculty and staff as you work with us to develop your application, and being invited here and just being selected at the university level as one of the Iowa State University Goldwater candidates is a large honor in and of itself. So, if you're ready to begin the application process for the Goldwater Scholarship, here is a look at the overall process. The campus selection deadline is October 15th this year, after which point a committee, the Goldwater Committee, made up of faculty members across campus, will be convening the following week, and the 4 Iowa State candidates will be selected and notified by October 26th. Between the months of November and January, students will continue to develop their application, and that typically takes place through weekly or bi-weekly meetings with myself, as well as a faculty mentor who you'll be paired with. The national deadline is January 25th, 2019, and then scholars will be announced in late March of 2019. A bit more about what the Goldwater application entails. At the bottom of this screen, you'll find a link to view a sample application. From the sample application, there are hyperlinks built in that will take you to the Goldwater website, as well as to some different examples that I felt were relevant as you're developing your application. So do have a close look at that. Once you're ready to apply, the link to the campus application can be found here at the bottom of your screen. The application involves 3 narrative responses as well as a research essay. The first narrative being about your career goals, up to 3,000 characters. In this essay, you should be certain to mention your desire to pursue a Ph.D. as well as your desire to have a career involving research. The second essay is where you describe a defining experience that triggered your interest in and passion for research. And the third essay, which is optional, is with regard to diversity and any additional information you would like the committee to have. The final 2 essays that I mentioned are 1,500 characters, so not very long essays. The fourth piece is the research essay, and this is up to 3 pages long and should be written journal style. I usually encourage students to work with a faculty mentor in developing this, as well as to try to use this essay as something that you could later take and present somewhere so that you get a bit more mileage out of your research essay. In addition to this, the application will ask questions about your leadership and extracurricular involvement, as well as any additional skills that you have. Additional skills could be things like music, language, technical skills, as well as any previous awards that you've won, as well as your research experience and any potential publications or presentations related to your research. At this stage in the application, we do ask you to list up to 5 references. You do not need to approach your references at this point, nor do you need to turn in letters at the campus stage. If selected as one of the 4 Iowa State campus candidates, you will then be asked to approach your references about writing letters. In preparation for your application, I highly recommend reading all the information available on the Goldwater website, as well as reviewing the candidate resources that we've put together on the website for nationally competitive awards at Iowa State University. I've got some other links for you here, and again, a link back into the sample application. As I mentioned, I highly recommend taking your narrative essays to the Writing and Media Center once you're ready, and I'm also willing to meet with candidates who have any additional questions. At this stage, I cannot offer to do any application review, but I do recommend that you take that to the Writing and Media Center. Candidates who have been selected at the campus level to move forward to the national competition will then, as mentioned previously, work together with a faculty mentor as well as myself to further develop your application. At this point, you'll also be asked to approach your references as well as submit transcripts. The final, and some of this work will obviously take place over winter break, as the deadline is late January 2019. The following slides contain some profiles of successful past Iowa State University Goldwater Scholars. Feel free to have a look and familiarize yourself with the characteristics of successful candidates. For more information on how to get connected with undergraduate research opportunities at Iowa State, have a look at the Undergraduate Research website and contact Dr. Svetlana Zabarska, who's the program coordinator for undergraduate research. She has research seminars that she offers each semester, as well as a course. She talks about topics such as how to apply for and find a summer research internship. Also, there's the annual Undergraduate Research Symposium in the spring that students should consider presenting at. Additionally, we take students to research in the Capitol each year in Des Moines, and the National Conference on Undergraduate Research, which also takes place in the spring. There's the iResearch Club that students can become involved in, as well as a new program for undergraduate research ambassadors. So for all of this, reference the website as well as Dr. Zabarska for more information. That concludes my presentation about the Goldwater Scholarship. I'm available for any additional questions, and my contact information can be found here. Best wishes on your application.